I want to talk about stillness and the resistance to what is, but often you'll hear spiritual talks are done in a peaceful setting where there's nothing to do and nowhere to go. But in the case of studying for an exam or people who are following a guru, there often is a feeling of needing to get somewhere or do something. And in the realm of school or career, often it's considered to be like a brain thing, right? Like a cognitive thing that you need to address. And in the realm of swallowing, which is I'm taking a test on swallowing very shortly, one of the first things you're looking for is there an attempt to chew the ice chip or whatever the food is you're starting with. And so there's this movement. And so the trick is not to find stillness, I would say, in the cave or on the meditation mat, but in the flow of life, in the action of life, in the attempt to accomplish something. You hear this idea that success is 99% perspiration, right? It's about the work. But if that's true, why would you make the effort, right? If you're making the effort to do well on the test out of fear, then you're not maximally focused, right? Instead, you would hopefully be, if you can, drawn by love. So there's some enlistment of the heart. And I suggest trying it on, assuming that success and joy is 99% from the heart and 1% due to the other body parts, the fear and other aspects. Now, I'm in the field of speech-language pathology. That's what my test is going to be on. And I was a teacher, so I've had a lot of experience with children who are judging themselves for not doing well as I know people who follow gurus and judge themselves for not living up to that guru's status. So this is a free video. You can buy my book if you want, but I'm basically trying to create these videos without any agenda, right? So often you'll see videos where there's an agenda. There's something they're trying to do. So the idea for me is just to be motivated by helping you study or helping you deal with a spiritual path out of love. And so what's your motive for wanting to study? Or what's your motive for following a guru? Is it fear? Is it fear-based? Are you looking to be rescued or to prove your worth? Which is often what's happening in any kind of moving situation. We need to get somewhere, right? So that question of stillness comes up, like how can we be totally still? So the second phase in swallowing, after the chewing, is to see if the patient's voice has changed or the breathing has changed, right? So when we get new information, either on a test, when we're studying, or in the actual exam moment, or from a guru or spiritual book, how are we changed? But the thing is, and while the change can be beneficial, really the lack of resistance to what is, the stillness, is where our peace is. So how do we, again, connect with that, not on this feeling that we need to get somewhere? Because what can happen when you're trying to study is part of you wants to study because you're afraid you're not doing well, you want to prove yourself. But the heart wants something else, right? Fear is not healthy. That's not fun. And yet it's how most of the systems are operated in the world. So the idea of studying from love, or even if you're following a guru, do it from love, not from fear. Even if we're bored and our heart's not in it, we make an effort at our job, at our relationships, studying if our heart is not into it. Can we do anything to our peak ability if our heart is not fully invested? It's an interesting question. What if we can? What if we need to enlist our heart? What if the enlistment of our heart is the most important thing? So we can open the books of our brain to a heart audit. We say, what's all the stuff going on? What happens, you'll see in a spiritual path, is people are denying instead of forgiving and accepting. So what is a heart audit? It's basically asking the heart to supply its motivation for you to make the effort. And ideally, we can do this before every choice we make. So to go to swallowing, you're looking to see, is the patient making a lot of efforts to swallow? Is there a lot of resistance? And then, is there food left over in the mouth? Right? Are they loss of sensitivity to the cranial nerves? Or they're coughing it up? The information is being sort of rejected by the mind. So we simply sit We ask your heart, can I study now? Or can I be here without fear? Or if there is fear, connect with that fear. And you stay still. Maybe even it takes 10 minutes. You can pause the video. If you live from the heart, then you don't have justifications or excuses. If you're living from the mind, you have to justify why you did or did not do something, or why you did something that didn't work out. But if you're living from the heart, then you're just doing things out of compassion. The end result doesn't matter. The act itself is connected. So it's hard to do when it's an intellectual activity like studying. But imagine you can live with less guilt and regrets, needing to explain why you're not a bad person or why you're a good person to others or yourself. It's all about justifications when you're in the mind. When you're in the heart, you're just trying to do your best. You're trying to make the world a better place for other people. And so if the subject on the test could be related to helping others, then you're at obviously an advantage. So self-doubt, low self-esteem, rushing. People often respond with grit, but then you have to contract your heart. Instead, we're saying find a life beyond needing to boost self-esteem, beyond needing to address insecurity, and beyond needing to prove you have grit. It's a whole deeper mindset, which I think is not often advertised, and when it is, the energetic of it is such a grasping that part of you knows it's not where it's at. So if you're taking on too much at once, the heart is not up for that. So you do the edit to prevent the heart from rebelling. If the heart rebels, then it's going to be distracting. But if the heart is on your side, then it can access something that's in the brain a lot more easily. And so I hope this is helpful to you, and feel free to email me if you have any more questions. And also see what my final slide says. So just the same thing. Just can I study now? You're asking the heart for permission, basically. And I say pause the video, but the video's over. So I recommend you try that out. Thanks for listening.